My fiance's phone rang during our wedding vows with the most romantic, spicy ringtone I'd ever heard. We were standing at the altar, 20 seconds into the officiant, asking if Ryan took me to be his wife, when his jacket pocket started playing this slow, sultry song. Not just any ringtone. One of those romantic R&B tracks with a woman's voice singing about coming home to her lover. Ryan's face went white. He fumbled for his phone while 150 guests watched in confused silence. The officiant paused mid-sentence. I tried to laugh it off, whispering that he should just silence it. But Ryan was staring at the screen with this look I'd never seen before. Pure panic. He declined the call and shoved the phone back in his pocket. His hands were shaking. The ceremony continued, but Ryan kept touching his pocket like the phone might explode. When the officiant asked if I took Ryan to be my husband, Ryan wasn't even listening. He was sweating through his shirt despite the air conditioning. At the reception, Ryan disappeared 3 times, once for 20 minutes right after our first dance. I found him in the venue's parking lot, phone pressed to his ear, speaking in this soft voice I didn't recognize. When he saw me, he hung up immediately and said it was his boss calling about a work emergency. On a Saturday night, during his wedding, I let it go because what else could I do in front of everyone? But my best friend Jenna pulled me aside during dinner. She said she'd seen Ryan on his phone constantly during the rehearsal dinner too. Always stepping away, always secretive. She asked if everything was okay between us. That night at the hotel, Ryan's phone rang again at 2 a.m. Same sultry ringtone. He grabbed it off the nightstand so fast he knocked over a water glass. Took the call in the bathroom with the door locked. I heard him talking in that same soft voice for 15 minutes. When he came back to bed, he said it was his mom having anxiety about something. His mom, who'd been at our wedding 6 hours earlier, perfectly calm. The honeymoon was supposed to be 2 weeks in Greece. We made it 3 days before Ryan said he had to fly back for a work crisis. He booked himself on the next flight out and left me at the resort alone. I came home 5 days later to find our apartment exactly as we'd left it. No signs Ryan had been there working. I checked his laptop while he was supposedly at the office. His search history showed he'd been looking up divorce lawyers in 3 different states. Our marriage was 8 days old. Then I found the keys, stuck in the pocket of his suit jacket from the wedding. 2 keys I'd never seen before on a keychain that said "Home Sweet Home." They didn't fit our apartment. Ryan's phone records showed hundreds of calls to the same number over the past year, including 5 calls on our wedding day before the ceremony even started. I reverse searched the number and got a name, Amanda Pierce. She had a Facebook profile set to private, but her profile picture showed her wearing a ring. Ryan's schedule got stranger. He'd leave for work at 6 a.m. and not come home until midnight. When I asked where he'd been, he'd say meetings or client dinners. But his credit card showed charges at grocery stores and gas stations in towns 2 hours away. I followed him one Thursday night, watched him drive out of the city and into the suburbs. He pulled up to a blue house with a white fence, used those keys from his pocket to unlock the front door. Through the window, I saw a woman come to greet him. She kissed him, not a friendly kiss. And then a little girl, maybe 5 years old, came running up to hug his legs. That's when I realized the ringtone wasn't random, and I wasn't the only Mrs. Ryan Bennett. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below. I stare through the window of the blue house, frozen in place as the little girl clings to Ryan's legs. My husband, the man I married 8 days ago, is living a double life. My hands shake as I fumble for my phone, snapping pictures of the scene through the window. Evidence. I need evidence. The woman Amanda pulls Ryan in for another kiss, and I feel bile rising in my throat. When Ryan finally emerges from the house 40 minutes later, I'm waiting in my car across the street. He spots me immediately, his face draining of color just like it did at the altar. That same look of pure panic. "What is this?" I ask when he approaches my window. My voice sounds hollow, like it's coming from someone else. "Who are they, Ryan?" He glances back at the house, then leans down to my window. "I can explain everything. Please, just not here." "Is that your wife?" The words taste like poison on my tongue. "Is that your daughter?" Ryan's eyes dart around nervously. "Let's go somewhere and talk. Follow me home." "Our home or that home?" I gesture toward the blue house with the white fence. The drive back to our apartment passes in a blur. I call Jenna from the car, my voice breaking as I tell her what I've discovered. "He has another family, Jenna. A whole other life." "I'm on my way," she says without hesitation. "Don't let him touch anything. Don't let him leave." At the apartment, Ryan paces while I sit rigidly on the edge of the couch, keeping as much distance between us as possible. "Her name is Amanda," he finally says. "Amanda Pierce. We've been married for 6 years." Each word is a physical blow. 6 years. Our entire relationship has been less than 2. "And the little girl?" "Emma. She's 5. His voice softens when he says her name, and I hate him for it. "But you have to understand, I was going to leave Amanda for you. I've been trying to figure out how to do it without losing Emma. So you married me instead?" My laugh sounds hysterical even to my own ears. "You stood at an altar and promised to be faithful when you were already married to someone else?" Ryan kneels in front of me, trying to take my hands. I pull away. "I love you," he insists. "What Amanda and I have, it's been over for years. She's unstable. She threatens to take Emma away if I leave. So you thought the solution was to marry me? To commit a crime? I was going to tell you everything after we got back from Greece. That's why I had to cut the honeymoon short. Amanda found out somehow. She was threatening to tell you everything, to ruin everything." I stand up, needing to put more distance between us. "Is that why you were looking up divorce lawyers? Were you planning to divorce me or her?" "Neither. I was researching how to handle the situation legally." The doorbell rings, Jenna. When I open the door, she takes one look at my face and pulls me into a hug. "What has he told you?" she whispers. "That he has a wife and daughter, that he was going to leave them for me." Jenna's eyes narrow as she looks over my shoulder at Ryan. I always knew there was something off about him. While Jenna keeps Ryan occupied with pointed questions, I slip into our bedroom and open my laptop. Our joint bank accounts, the ones we set up after the engagement, are nearly empty. The money from our wedding gifts, the cash we'd been saving for a house down payment, gone. Thousands transferred to another account over the past week. I return to the living room, my laptop in hand. "Where's the money, Ryan?" He looks genuinely confused. "What money?" I turn the screen toward him. "The money from our accounts. You've been transferring it out since the wedding." "That's It's for us, he says quickly. I was moving it to a high-interest account. I can show you. Show me now. He fumbles with excuses about needing to call the bank, about passwords he can't remember. I think you should leave, I tell him finally. I'm calling a lawyer in the morning. Please, he begs, tears forming in his eyes. I know I messed up, but I love you. Amanda is the problem here. She's manipulative, controlling. She'll never let me see Emma again if I leave her. Something about the way he says it so practiced, so perfect in its emotional delivery makes me wonder how many times he's used this exact speech before. Take a shower, I say finally. Clear your head, then we'll talk about what happens next. The moment I hear the shower running, I grab his laptop. His password is still our wedding date, a date that now makes me sick to my stomach. His email reveals everything. Conversations with Amanda about their life together, photos of them with Emma on recent vacations. Vacations he told me were business trips, and worse emails to other women. Romantic messages that mirror almost exactly the ones he sent me when we were dating. The shower is still running when my phone rings. Unknown number. Hello? I answer cautiously. Is this Ryan Bennett's wife? A woman's voice, tired but determined. Who is this? This is Amanda Pierce, Ryan's wife. She pauses. His real wife. I think we need to talk. I look toward the bathroom where Ryan is showering, oblivious that his carefully constructed house of cards is collapsing around him. Yes, I tell her, my resolve hardening. I think we do. Amanda sits across from me at a quiet corner table in the coffee shop, her hands wrapped around her mug like she's trying to absorb its warmth. Up close, I can see the exhaustion etched into her face, the kind that comes from years of stress, not just a few sleepless nights. I'm sorry we're meeting like this, she says, her voice steadier than I expected. When I saw your pictures on Ryan's phone, I thought you were just another girlfriend. I had no idea he'd actually married you. My stomach twists at her words. Pictures on his phone? Amanda nods, pulling out her own phone. He told me you were his mentally unstable cousin who needed a place to stay sometimes. That's why he was gone so many nights taking care of you. She scrolls through photos, then turns the screen toward me. He showed me these as proof you were family. I stare at pictures of myself, candid shots I never knew were taken. Me sleeping, me reading on our couch, even one of me in the shower, partially obscured but unmistakably me. Oh my God, I whisper, feeling violated all over again. When I found your wedding photos hidden in his cloud account last week, I knew something was very wrong. She pulls a small photo album from her bag and slides it across the table. That's when I started looking deeper. I open the album with shaking hands. The first page shows Amanda in a white dress, beaming next to Ryan in a tuxedo. They're cutting a cake together, dancing under twinkling lights, kissing as sparklers create a golden tunnel around them. 6 years ago, she says softly, at his parents' country club. His parents, the same people who sat in the front row at our wedding, who hugged me and welcomed me to the family, who knew all along. His parents know about both of us? My voice sounds hollow. Amanda's laugh is bitter. They've known about every woman. They think it's just Ryan being Ryan, like he's some playboy who can't help himself. She takes a deep breath. When I confronted them after finding your wedding photos, they told me not to make trouble, that Ryan was working through some things and I needed to be patient. I pushed the album back toward her, unable to look at those happy images anymore. I need to talk to them. They'll lie to you, Amanda warns. They always protect him. I don't care. I need to hear it from them. 2 hours later, I'm standing in Ryan's parents' immaculate living room, the same room where we'd had our engagement dinner last year. His mother, Margaret, sits perfectly poised on the edge of the sofa, while his father, Robert, stands by the fireplace, swirling whiskey in a crystal tumbler. This is all just a misunderstanding, Margaret says, her smile tight. Ryan and Amanda have been separated for years. They just haven't formalized it for Emma's sake. Then why are they still living together? I demand. Why did he never mention having a wife and daughter? Robert clears his throat. Ryan's situation is complicated. Amanda has always been unstable, threatening to take Emma away if he leaves. The same exact words Ryan used with me. So you knew he was committing a crime when he married me? You sat there at our wedding knowing it wasn't legal? Margaret's expression hardens. You pushed him into marriage too quickly. 6 months of dating, and suddenly you needed a ring? Ryan felt trapped. My blood boils. We dated for nearly 2 years before he proposed, and he was the one who suggested getting married in Greece. That's not what he told us, Robert interjects. Besides, Amanda is his real wife. The others. He stops abruptly, but it's too late. Others? I repeat. What others? The silence stretches between us until Margaret finally sighs. Ryan has always been impulsive with relationships. There have been a few misunderstandings before. How many women has he married? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. Neither answers, but their expressions tell me everything I need to know. I leave their house with my head spinning and drive straight to the police station. The officer who takes my statement, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes, listens patiently as I explain the situation. Bigamy is definitely illegal, she confirms when I finish, but we'll need more evidence to build a case. Bank records, marriage certificates, witness statements. I have pictures, I tell her, and his wife, his actual wife, is willing to talk to you. That's a good start, she says, but these cases can be complicated. Does he know you're here? I shake my head. Be careful when you confront him. Men like this can be unpredictable when their worlds start collapsing. Her warning echoes in my head as I return to our apartment. Ryan is waiting, pacing the living room like a caged animal. Where have you been? He demands. I've been calling you all day. I met Amanda, I say simply, and then I visited your parents. The color drains from his face. Whatever they told you. How many women have you married, Ryan? He falls to his knees in front of me, grabbing my hands. It's not what you think. I have problems, psychological issues. I need help, not punishment. Answer the question. If you go to the police, I'll kill myself, he whispers, tears streaming down his face. I can't go to prison. I can't lose Emma. I pull my hands away, suddenly seeing through his performance. How many, Ryan? 5, he finally admits, his voice breaking, including you and Amanda, but you're the only one I truly love. I back toward the door. I'm staying with Jenna tonight. Don't call me. Please, he begs. We can work this out. I'll get therapy. I'll make it right. But there's no making this right. The man I married doesn't exist. Jenna helps me pack while Ryan's at work the next day, though now I wonder if he's actually at another woman's house, playing another role in his elaborate life of lies. I found records of 3 other marriages, Jenna tells me as we load boxes into her car, all still technically active. This guy is a predator. As we drive away from the apartment, away from the life I thought I was building, I feel strangely calm. The truth, no matter how painful, is better than living in Ryan's carefully constructed web of lies. My phone buzzes with a text from Amanda. There are others who want to meet you. When you're ready. I'm not ready yet, but soon, I will be. Ryan's messages start flooding my phone the moment he realizes I've moved out. First comes the confusion, then the anger, followed by desperate pleas, and finally, threats. Where are you? We need to talk. You can't just leave like this. We're married. Please come home. I love you. I can explain everything. If you don't answer, I'm calling the police to report you missing. You're making a huge mistake. Amanda is manipulating you. I swear to God, if you've gone to the police, you'll regret it. I block his number after the 37th message, my hands shaking as I set my phone down on Jenna's kitchen counter. You okay? Jenna asks, sliding a cup of tea toward me. Not really, I admit. I keep thinking about what the police officer said about men like him being unpredictable. Jenna's expression darkens. That's why we're not staying here tonight. I've already arranged for us to crash at my cousin's place. Ryan doesn't know about her. The doorbell rings, making us both jump. Jenna peeks through the peephole, then visibly relaxes. It's Amanda, she says, opening the door. And others. Amanda steps in first, followed by 3 women I've never seen before. They all have the same haunted look in their eyes that I've started seeing in my own reflection. This is Melissa, Diane, and Kate, Amanda says quietly, Ryan's other wives. The women settle around Jenna's living room, each clutching their drinks like lifelines. Melissa, a petite woman with dark hair pulled into a tight ponytail, speaks first. He married me 4 years ago in Colorado, told me he was a widower, still grieving his first wife. Her laugh is hollow. Turns out he was simultaneously married to both Amanda and Diane at that point. Diane nods, twisting her wedding band still on her finger. Boston, 7 years ago. He told me he traveled for work, which explained why he was only home 3 days a week. Kate, the youngest of the group, looks like she hasn't slept in days. Las Vegas, 18 months ago. I thought I was special because he proposed after only 6 months. She wipes away a tear. I found out about all of you when the bank called about suspicious transactions across state lines. The bank accounts, I murmur. He drained mine too, right after the wedding. Amanda pulls out a notebook. We've been tracking his patterns. It's always the same. He creates these compartmentalized lives, keeps us all separate with elaborate lies about work travel. He targets women with money or inheritance potential. The wedding is always rushed, Melissa adds. And he always cuts the honeymoon short for some emergency. Then he starts moving money, Diane continues. Small amounts at first, then larger transfers once he has your trust. And the parents, I ask, they know about all of us? Kate nods grimly. They enable everything. His mother has different stories for each of us about why Ryan is so special and misunderstood. We spend hours comparing notes, discovering identical patterns down to the exact phrases he used when proposing. The, you're the only one I've ever felt this way about speech. The, I need to protect you from my complicated past explanation for his secrecy. My phone rings a number I don't recognize. I almost ignore it until Amanda says, you should answer. He cycles through burner phones when blocked. Hello? I answer cautiously. Is this Ryan Bennett's wife? A man's voice I don't recognize. Who's asking? Security at Westlake Office Park. Your husband is here causing a disturbance, demanding to see you. Says you work here? My blood runs cold. I haven't been to work since discovering Ryan's double life, but he's now shown up at my workplace, creating a scene. I'll be right there, I tell the security guard. Please don't let him leave. Amanda grabs my arm as I hang up. You can't go alone. We'll all go, Diane says firmly. It's time he faces what he's done. At my office building, we find Ryan in the lobby, ranting to anyone who will listen that his wife has been kidnapped. When he spots me walking in with 4 women, the color drains from his face. What is this? He demands, backing away slightly. What are you doing? Comparing notes, I reply coldly. Meeting your other families. The security guard, a retired police officer named Frank, approaches with a tablet. Ma'am, I pulled the security footage from the past week. This man has been here every day, watching the entrance. Yesterday, he followed one of your coworkers to the parking garage. He shows me the footage, Ryan lurking in the lobby, hiding behind pillars, tracking my colleagues' movements. The systematic stalking makes my skin crawl. We've all got similar footage, Amanda says quietly, from our workplaces, our children's schools. Ryan's expression shifts from shock to calculation. This is all a misunderstanding, he says smoothly, addressing the security guard. My wife has been struggling with some mental health issues. These women are taking advantage. Stop, Kate interrupts. Just stop lying for once, Ryan. You stole my grandmother's inheritance, Amanda says, her voice shaking. $300,000 she left for Emma's education. Ryan's face hardens. You can't prove anything. My phone rings again, another unknown number. This time, it's a child's voice on the other end. Is this my daddy's other wife? The small voice is unmistakably Emma's. Mommy said I could call you. I miss daddy. When is he coming home? My heart breaks hearing the confusion in her voice. Emma, sweetie, can you put your mommy back on the phone? Amanda looks confused. Emma's with my sister. What's going on? A cold realization washes over me. Ryan has Emma. Where's your mommy right now, Emma? I ask carefully. Daddy said she had to go away for work. He picked me up from Aunt Sarah's house. Amanda's face crumples. He doesn't have visitation rights. Sarah would never. She stops, grabbing her phone to call her sister. I'll bring her back if you meet me, Ryan says, suddenly calm. Just you and me. We need to talk. Westside Grill, I tell him. 1 hour. Bring Emma. Are you insane? Jenna hisses as Ryan walks away. He's dangerous. It's a public restaurant, I reply, and I'm calling Detective Martinez right now. The detective agrees to have plainclothes officers at the restaurant before we arrive. Amanda is frantic. Her sister isn't answering, and Emma was supposed to be staying with her until tomorrow. At the restaurant, Ryan is already seated with Emma when we arrive. The little girl's face lights up when she sees Amanda. Mommy, Daddy said you were on a business trip. Amanda rushes to her daughter, checking her over. Are you okay, baby? Ryan smiles coldly. proudly. See? She's fine. I told you I'm a good father. I slide into the booth across from him. It's over, Ryan. All of it. Nothing's over unless I say it is, he replies, leaning forward. Do you know why I'm so good at this? Because women like you are so desperate to believe in love that you ignore every red flag. How many of us are there? Ryan? Really? His smile is chilling. 5 current marriages across 3 states. You're not even my record. He lowers his voice. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's your word against mine. Actually, Detective Martinez says, appearing beside our table, it's your word against 5 women, bank records, and security footage showing a pattern of stalking and harassment. Ryan's face contorts with rage as the detective places him under arrest, reading him his rights while the restaurant falls silent around us. Emma buries her face in Amanda's shoulder, confused and frightened. This isn't over, Ryan calls out as they lead him away. You'll see. I always come back. I watch him disappear through the door, my hands still shaking but my resolve stronger than ever. The detective approaches our table again. We've been building this case for months, she explains, but we needed someone to come forward first. You ladies just helped us stop a serial predator. As we leave the restaurant, Amanda squeezes my hand. What happens now? Now, I say, watching the police car with Ryan inside pull away. We take our lives back. The courtroom feels impossibly small as I take the stand. Ryan sits at the defense table, wearing a navy suit that makes him look like a respectable businessman, instead of the monster I know him to be. He smiles at me, that same charming smile that once made my heart race, and I have to grip the wooden railing to steady myself. Please state your name for the record, the prosecutor says. I say my name, my voice stronger than I expected. When I look out at the gallery, I see Amanda sitting between Melissa and Diane. Kate is there too, holding hands with a woman I don't recognize, Ryan's 6th wife, discovered during the investigation. Can you tell the court how you met the defendant? The prosecutor asks. As I recount our whirlwind romance, Ryan maintains perfect eye contact, nodding slightly at certain details as if we're sharing fond memories. It's the same performance he gave during our engagement party, our wedding, our abbreviated honeymoon in Greece. Did the defendant ever mention he was already married? No, I say firmly. He told me he'd never found the right person until me. Ryan's attorney objects several times during my testimony, but the judge overrules him. The evidence is too overwhelming. Marriage certificates from 7 different states spanning 15 years, bank records showing systematic theft, identity documents under various aliases. When Amanda takes the stand after me, she brings a folder of photos. These are pictures of Ryan with Emma on her 5th birthday, she says, her voice breaking. The same day he was supposedly on a business trip to Denver, where he was actually with Melissa. Melissa nods from the gallery, tears streaming down her face. The most damning testimony comes from Ryan's mother, Margaret, who initially refused to cooperate but changed her mind after discovering Ryan had emptied her retirement accounts. We knew about the marriages, she admits, unable to look at her son. Robert and I thought it was just a phase, something he would outgrow. She dabs at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. We never imagined he would steal from us too. Ryan's father doesn't testify. He suffered a minor stroke after learning the full extent of his son's crimes. I feel a twinge of sympathy for them both, despite everything. They enabled him, but they were victims too. The trial lasts 3 weeks. Each day reveals new layers of deception, false identities, forged documents, manipulated photographs. The prosecutor shows a timeline of Ryan's activities, mapping out how he maintained 7 separate lives across 3 states, complete with different cell phones, social media accounts, and backstories. The defendant isn't just a bigamist, the prosecutor says during closing arguments. He's a predator who systematically targeted women for financial gain, emotional manipulation, and control. When the verdict comes back, guilty on all counts, Ryan shows no reaction. His face remains perfectly composed, like this is just another minor inconvenience he'll charm his way out of. Ryan Bennett, the judge says, you have violated the trust of multiple women in the most profound way possible. I sentence you to 8 years in prison for fraud, bigamy, and identity theft. Only then does Ryan's mask slip, his eyes flashing with the rage I glimpsed that day in the restaurant. You'll wait for me, he mouths to me as they lead him away in handcuffs. Not a question, a command. I don't respond. I don't need to. He has no power over me anymore. 6 months after the trial, I'm sitting in a community center conference room surrounded by a circle of women. Some I recognize from support groups for domestic abuse survivors. Others are new faces, all bearing the same haunted look I used to see in the mirror. I started this group because healing happens in community, I tell them. What happened to us isn't just about marriage fraud. It's about psychological manipulation and financial abuse. A woman named Tara raises her hand timidly. How did you know it wasn't your fault? That you weren't just stupid for believing him? Because predators like Ryan are experts at what they do, I explain. They study their targets, learn exactly what we need to hear, and become whatever person we're looking for. Amanda joins me for these meetings sometimes. We've developed an unlikely friendship, bound by our shared trauma and determination to heal. She updates me on Emma, who visits Ryan in prison once a month under careful supervision. She still loves him, Amanda tells me after one meeting. That's the hardest part, protecting her without demonizing him completely. She'll understand when she's older, I say, though I'm not sure if that's true. Ryan's parents reached out to all of us with handwritten apology letters after the sentencing. Margaret's was 3 pages long, detailing how she enabled Ryan's behavior from childhood, making excuses for his lies and manipulations because she couldn't bear to see him face consequences. We failed him, and in doing so we failed all of you, she wrote. I will carry that shame for the rest of my life. I didn't respond, but Amanda did. She's allowing them limited visits with Emma, believing the little girl needs all the stable adults she can get in her life. My annulment was finalized exactly 6 months after our wedding day, a process made easier by the criminal conviction. Jenna helped me file a civil suit to reclaim the wedding costs and stolen money. We won a judgment that Ryan will likely never be able to pay, but the victory wasn't about the money. It's about accountability, Jenna said as we left the courthouse, and making sure there's a paper trail for the next woman he tries to charm. 1 year after discovering Ryan's secret life, I'm standing in line at a coffee shop when I hear that sultry R&B ringtone that used to make my stomach flutter. I freeze, my hand halfway to accepting my drink from the barista. A woman near the door answers her phone, laughing at something the caller says. She's pretty, professional looking, with a diamond ring catching the light as she gestures. Yes, honey, I'll pick up your dry cleaning, she says. Love you too, Ryan. My blood runs cold. It's impossible Ryan is in prison. But then I remember his brother, mentioned briefly during the trial. A brother who shares his voice, his mannerisms, possibly even his ringtone. Or maybe it's just coincidence. A different Ryan with the same taste in music. Still, I write down the woman's license plate number as she leaves, just in case. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that monsters rarely have just one victim, and some patterns are too important to ignore.